Good evening and welcome to the 2024-25 district-wide goals presentation. Thank you to the administrative team for being here tonight. I appreciate the leadership you bring to the district and in particular to the work on our goals. I want to begin by framing the work in the larger context. Our strategic plan is based on the district's beliefs, mission, objectives, and strategies. From there, annual goals are developed based on ongoing accumulation of data, both qualitative and quantitative data, that are used to determine our annual goals. I want to begin by framing some of the foundational work in our strategic plan, beginning with our mission. Our mission outlines what we want for our students. We want our students to thrive as lifelong learners, dynamic thinkers, and compassionate, contributing citizens. And the mission notes how we want to achieve that through a learning community distinguished by rich, differentiated academic programs, a safe, supportive environment of respect and collaboration that allows individual passions and the celebration of accomplishments, and also opportunities for leadership and service. In addition to our mission, I wanted to review the 6 strategies in our strategic plan. The first is leadership, which is for both our current and future leaders, and we are looking for them to commit to continued learning and developmentally responsive pedagogy. Second, we're looking to adapt curriculum that promotes differentiated instruction and helps our students to become future ready. Third, we want to create an environment in which emotional, social, and physical wellness fosters a culture of engaged citizenship and inclusivity. And our remaining 3 strategies include communication, where we want to engage home, school, and community, and dialogue and build linkages. We have an infrastructure and resources strategy, which is going to be very critical for tonight's discussion. And we're looking to ensure that our resources are maintained and optimize the use of the district's facilities, equipment, and supplies to provide a safe, collaborative, and flexible environment. And finally, we're looking to develop partnerships, both new and existing, that allow us to expand our learning opportunities. And I think that you will see the thread for all 6 of these strategies and the 3 goals that we're going to talk about tonight. So again, our mission and strategies are two of the foundational pieces we build our annual goals on. The annual goals allow us to have focus and alignment of resources, time being the most precious commodity in terms of resources. And I say time because we utilize the research from McChesney, Covey, and Huling in developing our goal process and create wildly important goals. The big idea behind their research that we've adopted is that you always have your everyday work that accounts for approximately 80% of what you do, and then you allow time, approximately 20%, to focus on your wildly important goal. Your wildly important goal is where you focus your finest effort on the one thing that will bring about the biggest difference. It's really the area where we think significant improvement would have the greatest impact. For Pleasantville, in the 2024-25 school year, there are 3 areas where significant improvement we know with significant improvement, we are confident that we will see a tremendous impact. Our goals were built in response to the needs of the district. For each goal, the administrators will discuss the alignment to the strategies and the rationale for why the goal was chosen, and of course, the goal itself. We have 3 goals this year, one in facilities, one in integrated co-teaching, also known as ICT for short, and one in curriculum writing. So first, the facilities goal, they are numbered in the order that we're going to speak about them. We can really see an opportunity for a true collaborative effort between John Chow, Steve Chamberlain, Dan Iorio, and myself, along with the entire administrative team, the entire staff, the board, and the community. So with that teaser, I would like to bring up Dan and Steve to speak about the facilities goal.
Thank you, Dr. Dessa. In the sports world, everyone has a shelf life. I strongly believe in that. Our turf outside also has one. So one of the facilities, I guess, areas that we've focused on are the main and small turf. Those are two areas that need to be replaced. That said, in May of 2022, voters approved to establish a capital reserve fund to help support the replacement of that turf. Mr. Chamberlain is going to focus a little bit on some of the specifics as far as additional projects go. But I would like to point out the fact that our Board of Education, we thank you very much, spearheaded a facility that played a huge role in the projects that we're hoping to pursue in the near future. The district administration has collaborated with the Board of Ed, community members, and this is an ongoing process. So if you were able to see kind of where we started when these ideas behind the project came into play, we've really come a long way at this point. Two key areas as far as strategies go that I like to focus on are wellness and partnerships. You've heard me say it before. I strongly believe that the healthier the community, the happier and the safer it is. So by bringing in facilities and expanding on what we have will only help us in that area. And the other strategy is partnerships. As you all already know, we have a large, well-established youth program within our community. And those programs do share our space. So some of the specifics as far as the projects go that Mr. Chamberlain will focus on will allow you to kind of realize the need for those projects. So, Mr. Chamberlain.
Thank you, Mr. Iorio. So I just want to start with our focusing on some of the items of the BCS. And the BCS is our 2023 Building Conditions Survey and 5-year plan. That's a comprehensive evaluation of our facilities. It's required every 5 years. It's performed by our architects and engineers. And it's a tool that we use to help us prioritize our facility needs. So we'll be addressing some of the high priority items off of that building condition survey. We'll be addressing some safety related upgrades and some additional prioritized facility needs, some things that have been on my radar for a number of years that we'd like to get cleaned up. We'll also be addressing our athletic facility needs, as Mr. Iorio alluded to, including the turf at the BRS playground, the high school main turf fields, both of them, and the track and that entire area basically from the high school up to the tennis courts, and also addressing the needs of the high school backfield. Thank you.
Good evening, everyone. So the second goal that we're working on this year is our ICT goal. Last year, Pleasantville focused on setting the groundwork for expanding their special education continuum by including integrated co-teaching classes K-8. Providing professional development last year for teachers was the main goal in getting everyone situated on what this would look like, specifically around the models of ICT and which ones we would be implementing. This year, we have opened up ICT at BRS at the kindergarten, 1st, 3rd, and 4th grade, and at the middle school, 5th through 8th grade in all 4 core classes. In order to provide our students with options for the least restrictive environment, it's important for us to remain focused on the implementation this year. Before inviting Dr. Bala to share specifics this far, let me share a quote that we recently received via email from one of our schools. Unprovoked, 3 of our ICT teams have shared with us what a positive experience this has been so far for both the students and teachers. Our special education teachers are glowing being back in a classroom setting, and it's great to see small groups being utilized in our classrooms, especially in the younger grades so early on in the year. Teachers have shared how much they have already learned from each other and are excited for the coaching and to continue to see this model grow throughout the year. It's only been about 2.5 weeks, so to receive that email was wonderful news to know that I am now part of the initiative to move forward and to see how we can expand this. Dr. Bala.
Good evening. As Dr. Alexander alluded to, last year our goal was to add ICT services to our continuum of services K-8. We were already offering ICT at the high school level for quite some time. We were able to accomplish our goal last year, making this year the first year where we are now offering ICT courses across multiple grade levels in all 3 buildings. As such, the primary focus of our department for this year is to support the implementation of ICT K-12 in the district. Our work in ICT last year and this year aligns with a number of strategies of our strategic plan, including leadership, curriculum, wellness, communication, and partnerships. Just to elaborate on a few, we were really able to strengthen our partnerships with neighboring districts last year when they invited us into their ICT classrooms at different grade levels for visits. ICT, of course, our work last year and this year has required us to maintain ongoing communication with different stakeholders. ICT classrooms really provide an environment conducive to differentiating curriculum and really support inclusion. And our teachers have committed themselves to multi-year professional learning as part of their work in ICT. As I mentioned, our aim for this year, our goal for this year is to support the K-12 implementation of ICT in the district. As such, we have established a few objectives and even more detailed benchmarks to help us measure our progress towards the goal over the course of the year. Some of our objectives include, give me a second. The fact that by the end of this calendar year, we would have assessed all of our furniture and any additional structural, infrastructural needs that we would have just to be able to include it in our budget for the upcoming school year. By early next calendar year, we would have finalized our continuum of services for the 25-26 school year, which would have incorporated any of our learnings from this school year. And as part of our work in ICT, our teachers at the elementary and middle school levels will be receiving coaching services, and select teachers from the high school will also be receiving coaching who either are new to us this year or were, let's say, on a leave of absence last year. And so they'll be receiving coaching, and we anticipate that all teachers who will be engaging in integrated co-teaching classes would have completed their coaching by the end of the school year. Thank you.
Dr. Bala, one question. The coaching that you do, is it different for BRS and PMS than it is for the high school, given the different class structures?
It looks different because the lessons are developmentally just different and aligned, yes.
So this wasn't really just an expansion of our existing program, it was really a creation of 2 new programs because it's just different.
The coaching model? Yes, it looks different for both buildings, and yes, it is a creation of a different model, I would say, yes.
Thank you.
You're welcome.
Good evening, everyone. So I want to show right now all of the rationale that we have spoken about over the past few years that we have really dedicated ourselves to this curriculum writing. And I show all of these at the start instead of going one by one because the rationale hasn't changed. From when we started this goal, these rationale bullet points have stayed true, from new state standards with next gen learning standards to our focus on equity and down the list. What I can share with you and what has changed is the benefits that we've already received from them. And I can tell you, and I would love to focus on two key areas. One, we've had new staff members that we've hired this year. These new staff members, as a part of this onboarding process, have received some of these curriculum writing documents and have been able to hit the ground running. And when we've met with them to check in, connect with them on how the beginning of their school year is gone, they have expressed how valuable having access to what has been done in the past, what some of their counterparts on the same grade level or within other classrooms are doing, and even knowing where the connection is that they're going to be moving to next, has helped them just approach that with the work in the summer. So it was really beneficial to hear that and see that, and we're very pleased with it. And the second part, which also has very much a connection to our ICT programs, is around our teachers' dedication. None of this will happen, or does happen, without our teachers really committing and dedicating to the process, and we're very grateful and want to formally thank our staff for dedicating themselves. And they took that even one step further, where many teachers signed up to do more curriculum writing over the summertime. They were unit planning in every building across all of our schools. And those teachers also connected with their ICT counterparts and really had a strong foundation for what was going to happen at the start of the year, the approaches and the strategies that they learned from the coaching models with the professional development leaders that we brought in, and were able to do so and hit the ground running with that. And the biggest benefit that is a result of that are our students. Our students started the school year with teachers that are extremely well prepared, know where they're going, and we have clear direction with that. So we've been very happy with where and why we're doing this. And ultimately, all of these pieces connect on 5 huge areas of our strategic plan. And when we've been doing this strategic planning for many years, and when we can have a strategy that hits on multiple areas, let alone 5, it really just benefits our students, our staff, and our greater community. Mrs. Hunger?
Thank you. So in a few moments, Mr. Palumbo is going to come up and talk with you more and share more about this multi-year journey that we are on through curriculum writing. I get the pleasure of coming up, though, and sharing a bit more of an in-depth view of what we're going to do this year. Taking us back a little bit, last year our goal was that across all courses taught, we had a scope and sequence, which provided an overview, a bird's eye view of what that course looked like and what students were going to engage in throughout the year. Our curriculum coordinators at the high school level, that's George Lamar, at the middle school, Tracy O'Sullivan, and at the elementary school, Tyler Shea, have been absolutely instrumental in helping us reflect on the scope and sequences that were completed, as well as some of the work that was done above and beyond that to help us set our goal for this year. At BRS, the goal is to create unit plans for 3 subject areas per grade level. At the middle school and high school, that looks a little bit different. And teachers at the middle school and high school level are focusing on their primary course that they are teaching and looking at completing 100% of the curriculum map. So as we're looking, we have scope and sequence is our biggest bird's eye view, curriculum map a little bit more in depth, and a unit plan is a more in-depth view. And last year, and it was wonderful working again with our curriculum coordinators, with Dr. Desa and the support of the admin team to really look at the needs of the different schools and how the students would benefit most from that. And above and beyond that, what you don't see written here around creation of unit plans as well as curriculum maps is really focusing on professional learning for teachers, giving teachers an opportunity to reflect on, as they were creating these documents, what questions came up. what would be most meaningful for us to engage in professional learning around so that we can create more meaningful documents for our colleagues in the future, we can create more meaningful units for our students as we're going forward. Mr. Plum?
Good evening. So as Rachel mentioned, this process of curriculum writing, the mapping, the unit plans that we're doing in all three buildings, it all looks a little different depending upon which school that you're working in. At Rachel's school, they typically work in grade level teams. In Adams building, there are more teams kind of across the content areas. In the high school, we're very departmental. And at the high school level, there are a number of teachers who are the only teachers of specific courses, right? So they teach singletons, and they might teach more than one of them. So the timeline for completion in all three buildings is a little different. One of the things that we want to underscore, as we talk about this work, is the multi-year commitment that the district has made towards doing it and doing it well, and in perpetuity, building in a continuous cycle for review and evaluation, right? Because there is no profession where things stay the same, right, over time. There's always more to learn. There are always new great resources for us to incorporate, opportunities for students, teachers, members of every team here in the district to learn and grow. So what we've mapped out here, is a plan for years 3, 4, and 5. We're in year 2 right now. We're very excited about that. As you can see, it's progressive, in each year, and this is not written in stone. We really work in a prescriptive way each year based on the progress that teachers make in teams and on their own. I would point out that in each one of the buildings, our curriculum coordinators and the building leadership teams have documents that track the progress in real time that teachers are making in this work, so we can identify what is being accomplished. I know it doesn't necessarily fall into the category of a quote-unquote SMART goal, but we can see what people are doing, and we plan on being agile, flexible, nimble, and resourceful to make sure that that year 5 aspirational goal that we have for all of our K-12 scopes being completed, our unit maps being completed, and the cycle for continuous review is in place. And at some point, if I were to map out year 6 or 7, you might see something about some potentially public-facing documents that we'd like to create down the road. So really appreciate your support in this long-term effort. I do realize this is a marathon and not a sprint, and sometimes maintaining support in that kind of work, can be a challenge. So thank you to our teachers, thank you to the community for the support, and certainly thank you to the Board of Education, for all that you do. I'm going to ask Dr. Desai to come up and share some final thoughts.
The structure of creating annual goals for the district is to help focus our energy on leverageable areas in our schools and departments that will further our efficiencies and make lasting improvements. I talked about that in the beginning couple of slides when I was up here. All of these areas were determined because we had both qualitative and quantitative data that showed that they were areas of need that aligned very closely to the strategies within our strategic plan. And we think from the facilities goal to the ICT goal to the curriculum writing goal, that each one of these areas continues investment in our resources, our human resources, along with our property, our facilities, to make sure that we can do the good work of the teaching and learning and develop our healthy, happy community of learners. The facilities goal, last year we had the middle school HVAC project as a goal that really aligned to our infrastructure and resources very closely. This movement, along with improvement in our facilities, really does show a tremendous dedication to ensuring the wellness of our entire community, both inside the buildings, outside of the buildings, and in our athletic facilities. And when you look at the ICT goal, this is year 1 of implementation, but really year 2 of focusing on ICT. And as you saw with what Mr. Palumbo said, year 2 of curriculum writing as a goal. I think the importance of the long-term piece is really helpful to our community and our staff in realizing and understanding that this is not like a one and done. We're not just going to focus on this and leave it. These really are leverageable opportunities for us to see significant impact with our work. So I will leave you with saying that I'm really proud of the way that we embrace this and that we have these multi-year goals and commitments. We're not going to be done with the facilities project in a year either, by the way. So that's a little foreshadowing. It's only year one of a multi-year goal that we're starting. And I'm very proud to be the leader of the district and thankful to the board and our community for the support that allows us to work in a way that supports learning for all students. Thank you.